How do you know you're ready to make your first offer? Hi, Mark here. A lot of new investors ask, how do I know if this is a good deal? That's a fair question. But before that, there's another question worth asking. Am I really ready to make an offer? Because those aren't the same thing. A property might look interesting, but you may not be ready yet. Or you may be ready, but the property doesn't deserve an offer. And this is where a lot of new investors get stuck. They look for properties for months. They run numbers, watch videos, they talk themselves in and out of every deal. After a while, they're not sure whether they're being careful or just afraid. You don't want to move too fast to make a mistake, but you also don't want to wait forever for a perfect deal that probably doesn't exist. So how do you know when you're ready? Not perfectly ready, nobody is, but ready enough to move forward with a calm head. The first sign is you understand your financing. You've talked to a lender, you know the purchase range, the down payment, the closing costs, and whether the property's loan type will fit what you're planning to use. If you don't understand the financing, you're not really shopping yet. You're just browsing. But that's okay, that's fine at first. But when it's time to make an offer, you need more than a guess. The second sign is that you have a realistic rent number, not the seller's number or the listing agent's optimistic number, and not the number that makes a spreadsheet look pretty. You've checked comparable rentals, you've checked the neighborhood and the property's condition, and you've run the deal using a conservative number. Because if the deal only works at the dream rent, it just doesn't work. The next sign is that you understand the real expenses: taxes, insurance, vacancy, maintenance, capex, and management. Yeah, management, even if you plan on managing it yourself. The fourth sign is that you've looked at the property's physical risks: the roof, mechanicals, the foundation, the water, parking, and the neighborhood. You know, a cheap property with a lot of unknowns isn't automatically a good deal. And the fifth sign is that your walk-away point. Before you make the offer, you should know what number works and what number doesn't. Because once negotiations begin, emotions sneak in. You may start thinking, maybe I can stretch a little. And sometimes you can, but often stretching is just another way of forcing a deal that doesn't fit. A disciplined investor knows when to stop. Now, you don't need to know everything before making your first offer. You'll still rely on inspections, lender review, title work, insurance quotes, and good advice. But you should be able to explain the deal to an 8th grader. Here's the price, here's the rent, the expenses, likely repairs, and here's how I'm going to finance it. Here's what could go wrong, here's my reserve plan, and here's the number where I walk away. Wow. If you can explain it like this, calmly and simply, you're starting to think like a real investor. But if all you can say is, I just feel like this could be good, you need more structure. And that's okay. Waiting because you need information isn't a failure. But waiting forever because you're afraid to be imperfect, that's a problem. The goal isn't to remove all risk. You can't. The goal is to understand the risk well enough that you're not moving blindly. A good offer isn't emotional or desperate. It's a decision you can defend with the numbers, the condition, and your plan. If the seller says no, so what? Fine. There'll be other opportunities. But when the seller says yes, you want to know you didn't just win the offer, but you made a decision that will hold up over time. And that's where better investing starts. So, to help you with this, I put together a free PDF called the First Offer Readiness Checklist. Nothing fancy, just a practical tool to help you slow down, look carefully, and avoid wasting your precious time. You can grab it at the link below. And this is exactly why I built 21 Day Investor, to help new investors think through the property, the numbers, and the risk before they're already committed to a deal. So, as always, thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.